a lot of work, and I think I remember my first love very clearly, and it was so easy. And I think having had other relationships since then, I felt like I needed to revisit a time in my life when things were easier. That's why I decided to tell the story. And it was really fun going back to that time.
Actually, I felt this way too, that your book has many moments where it allows you to go back to feel into emotions that you once had, and you do that with quite a precision, allowing people to go back into particularly emotions that maybe have been long time gone. And I wanted to ask you about your first emotion, about how was the feeling, or maybe you could describe the feeling when you first held your published book of the book These Letters End in Tears. What was the feeling when you saw it like fully printed, fresh, smelling of ink?
I know you expect me to say that I was overjoyed, because that's how I'm supposed to feel. But the thing with me is that I don't know how to stop and enjoy anything. Like, I get obsessed when I want something, I get obsessed with achieving that thing. And once I have it, I don't even stop to like appreciate what I have. I just, the question in my head is, what's next? So I did not really feel any.
So I understand what you're saying. This book was the driver. This is just the beginning of more. So in this case, what more were you planning when you saw this printed copy, instead of feeling overjoyed, crying to tears, calling everybody, doing selfies, signing it into new social media channels, all for this book, but you felt, no, what next? So what happened after that book for you?
I started plotting my next book.
People don't know this place, say it again.
So I'm from a village in South Africa, it's called Dala. And the next big town is about an hour and a half, and that's called Queenstown. And that's where KFC was. There was no KFC in my town. And so growing up, I just wanted to go to Queenstown. And finally went when I was 13, 14 for high school, but yeah. So it was it's just poverty, it's just the nuances of being poor and what you have access to.
The culinary dining experience of KFC, did you actually mention? No. So how is KFC today for you?
I could never. Never. I have this thing, so I work as a self-love coach, and one of my things is like, I love myself so much that I'm careful about what I put in my body. So KFC would probably be one of those things that I'm careful about.
I have also lately become more accustomed to this kind of, I should be careful what I put into my body, and things that are not even worth the calorie, they are not worth the fat, they are not worth my body.
No.
Yes, no. So, tell us a little bit about, because as I say, you work as well as a coach. As I said yesterday, I spent also time watching your TED Talk, and you got a lot through pain that is relatable, and you do it very well in making it accessible. People can approach you, people can find themselves in a way, even though without not having the same exact pain. So what triggered you from, maybe it's because you said you used to be a people's pleaser, and it's been a life coach, maybe another way of finding a more healthier way to please people.
Ooh!
I want to trigger psychology first.
I never thought about that. Maybe, have you guys heard of this thing that says we teach what we need to learn sometimes? And so I think parts of coaching is also me teaching things that I need to learn. I still call myself a recovering people pleaser, because I do have times where I do people please, whether it's in relationships or friendships, where I go home and I'm like, I didn't really want to do that, but I said yes, so I go back and I change my mind. But the coaching part, which I write out, I tell my mom's story in the book. My mom died at 36 from an HIV-related illness, and now I'm 39, and sometimes I'm like, holy shit, I've outlived my mom, and I feel so young. And one of the reasons that I became a coach was to sort of help women who find themselves in a situation where it is hard to choose yourself. And so, yeah.
You write a whole life. You actually write how life could be aside from the norm that we kind of live in. So you allow different sets of relationship, different constellation, and you literally explore them. So what made you?
Yeah, I think it just started with the idea. As I said, I wanted to write about Amazons. And of course the first thing I was doing was like reading up on all that stuff. And then the next step was kind of like imagining a world, how it could have been for the Amazons. And very soon it came to my mind that it doesn't work just to reproduce Greek mythology, because who actually wrote these texts? They're like very obviously written by heterosexual men who are very, very scared of warrior women. Like, you can really, really read this in their text. So like, oh my God, like this brown women from the East, and they eat men and their children probably too. And I'm like, oh geez, where did I? This is like a little bit much. And so the challenge was, okay, what is this fear about? What is real about this fear? And where can I make like my own real interpretation? Because when it comes to like, I know how it is, and I think a lot of women of color, black women in this room, actually know where this fear is like rooted in, and what would be like the real picture, the nuanced picture. And this is like what I tried to tell in this book, but that doesn't mean that like the Amazons are just like hero perfect figures. There's actually a lot of criticism in their society too, so.
Yes, and even though the feeling of they don't eat men, but they drink the blood of the people that they have defeated.
Yeah.
And then grow stronger, I was like, wow.